Hello, and welcome to Fiber Town, episode 110. It's May 2015. I think it's the 14th. Yay! I'm Emily. Hello. If you haven't met me before, I am Chain of Fools on Ravelry and Fiber Town with an RE on Instagram. Welcome to my crafty area. I have crafty stuff everywhere. And this crafty dog is Alice. She makes shenanigans. That's what she crafts. And yeah, she's a little bit angry with me because I just took her out of her sunspot to say hello. Did we say hello? She's mad also because instead of taking her walkies to the bus stop, my son and I rode our bikes to school. So she was like, "What? I don't get to go to the bus stop to meet all of my admirers and have them fawn all over me, and then I get walkies? No, we didn't do that today. We rode our bikes." And Alice doesn't ride a bike, so too bad. So anyway, it's been a while since she had shown her pretty face. So here we are. Let me bring you a little bit closer. There we go. Hello. I've got all sorts of stuff that I want to share with you guys today. So let me start by saying hello to Stitched by Mimi. She introduced herself, and she is from Central California in the San Juan Valley, as they say in Sons of Anarchy. And I think she leads a very un-Sons of Anarchy life, full of surrounded by orchards with fruits and nut trees, and she is a grandmother. And she just began knitting, and this is so cool, and I think a whole world is going to open up to you. And the cool thing is her mom helped her start knitting just recently, like this winter. So excellent. Thank you so much for saying hello, and we're glad you're here. And we being Alice and I, and probably everyone else. So welcome, and I hope you want to chat in the threads and all that good stuff. A couple of businessy things. Autism awareness is happening, and that is a 3-month knit-along in conjunction with some other podcasts, spearheaded by the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcasts. And colorful objects are the requirement. So less than 25% neutrals, please, and post your FOs in the ongoing FO thread. We're doing it so April, May, June. And you can post any FO in there, but if it's colorful, post it twice. Now, I haven't heard from the last winner, and I've decided not to ear burn people if they don't respond, because it's nice to have people who are, I know that, you get behind in podcasts. So if I don't hear from you in a month to 6 weeks, it'll go back in the prize pool, and I'll probably pull it again at the end. So at the end of the cow for a different person. So the May prize is 2 patterns from Rav downloads. So enter those FOs. Now the PalCal is going on too, and that's with Actually Knitting, the Actually Knitting podcast. And there is a coupon code. If you listen to the Actually Knitting podcast, there is a coupon code for Fibertown Designs, as well as lots of other amazing designers. And it's a podcaster along, craft along. So it's a cool thing to do. I think it's a great idea. And I've started listening to the Actually Knitting podcast. It's a great podcast. Excellent. So last piece of business. The summer of S is almost upon us. And now this is going to overlap a bit with the autism awareness craft along, like 2 weeks. So the summer of S, I like to, this happened for the first time last summer, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun for me. Do you want to get down? Say goodbye. There's that gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Do you want to say goodbye? Do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to have a cookie? C is for cookie, you know. Well, you get a close-up of all my spots. Anyway, summer of S. We are headed off to Spain again this summer, hence the S. But the S is also a very good knitting letter because so many things we do start with S. Sweaters, socks, scrappy, stranded. So if it has an S somewhere associated with it, then you can enter it. And I would love to have prize donations for this one. So if you are a maker of things and a seller of them, please, let's get in touch. And I'd love to have you send some stuff, and I'd love to give it away to the Fiber Townies. So that Summer of S is totally double dippable. You know, we've got all these other things going on. Tour de Fleece, the Around Your Neck Cal with Suburban Stitcher, Stash Dash, of course. And you know, if all else fails, you made it in the summer. It's with Stash. So it's incredibly cheater friendly. And it will go till the 1st of September. So June 15th to the 1st of September. Because June 15th is our departure date. And I hope to do several podcasts from Spain. And the kids and I are only going to the northern part of the journey, shall we say. And I'm so excited. That's my favorite part. Mountains, cows with bells on, hikes, lakes filled with trout. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful place. So yeah, I'd like to share a bunch of that with you this year. Okay, on we go. Works in progress because there are no FOs. And I'm not saving things for Stash Dash because although I have done Stash Dash in the past, I don't know, with the traveling, it's become too much for me to keep track of. I do participate in Tour de Fleece, S spinning, right? Did I say that already? I have done it before. I have won Stash Dash before. Oh yes, I've won it. I think I did it the first year when they sent out buttons to people who finished. Because I have a button of Laura and Leslie with mustaches. For Stash Dash. All right, so my FOs. Let me show you my junk yarn socks. Oh my goodness, allergies. I may have to pause this and blow my nose. Oh, I have a hoe. I should have this on a blocker. I am a fan of the short-legged socks. And yes, this does fit my foot. I have a teensy little foot. I wear a size 7. It's not that small. I did a double gusset. Look at that. Look at that. It fits great. Let me see if I can show you. This is by Christy Payne. It is a free tutorial. And it's just an expansion. Let me see if I can. So it's hard to see, but there's the first gusset. And there's the second one. So you can see it's super huggy of your arch, and that suits my foot very well. I loved knitting these. They went very fast. And I have the second one cast on already. And yes, here it is. It's a little less crazy. These are my May socks. So I like to do the ribbing all in a solid darker color. I think that's nice. Now this is Archangel. It's a Malabrigo sock. I'm putting the non-nylon containing scraps, and these are just tiny nuggets. I'm putting the just merino scraps in the leg so they won't get as much wear as the foot scraps. And I found a good use for my little earbuds pouch. I have my scraps in here. And this is necessary, excuse me, as things go bouncing. Koi goo, nugget of koi goo bouncing around. I made I made a sweater for my friend Leanne's babies out of this. And that's what's left. I get to see Leanne this afternoon. She's going to serve me tea. Isn't that proper? It's not going to be proper at all because we're both 12, basically, at heart. At any rate, somehow, if you don't contain these nuggets in a bag, it's my Holland Handmaids bag, which is very fun, they just have a party in there and get completely tangled. I don't know what happens, but you set the bag down and after hours, it's fiesta forever in these bags. So they need to be contained in a Ziploc or something else. All right, so I have these on my Addi sock rockets. Now, these are sharp needles. They are very sharp needles. And after 5, 6-ish years of knitting, which is how long I've been knitting, I finally did it. I finally unlocked an achievement in knitting. Do you want to know what it is? I sat on my needles and I stabbed myself in the leg. Blood and everything. It hurt. It really hurt. Damn you, Addi sock rockets. I like you though. I go fast. I can knit fast in knitting. When I get in that groove and I get in that Zen mindset, just go to town. But they are sharp. Be warned. And do you know, where is that thing I want to show you? I made, okay, it's blue. Part of it's blue. So I saw this under some books. I thought that might be it. But no, that's just a doodad that one of my kids has left. This thing, you put it down as a suction cup and it pops up. That's not it. Here it is. I made a purchase at the Jan B. Smiley Etsy shop, and I will show you it later, but look what she sent me. She's the best. I can't say enough nice things, okay? If she were here right now, I'd give her a big cuddly hug. Jan B. Smiley has come up with this thing called Poke Me Not, and there's her dog. I think her dog's name is Blue. Blue. I have to look. Anyway, let me show you how these work. And I wish I had had them last Tuesday night when I sat down on my knitting and screamed. Okay, so one end is closed like this. Another end, you can't tell, but there is an opening. There is an aperture. It's so stealth in there, you can't even really see it. However, witness the magic. Am I doing the magic right? Okay, yeah, there we go. The lethal weapon is now encased in the Poke Me Not. And it's in there, yo, right? It's in there. Excuse all the scrappy tails. I'll clip those off. I've been weaving the ends in as I go. So there we go. Poke Me Not. These are super affordable. I looked. $6, I think. Jan B. Smiley has filled a niche that needed to be filled. So check her out. She's on Etsy. I'll show you the card in a minute when I show you the bag I got. She is a bag maker extraordinaire. Okay, that's going to go back in here along with my other one. I have to remember to do the double gusset on the other one. I am known for forgetting things like that. Okay, other works in progress. Let me show you, well, since I'm talking about Jan, let me show you my Hitofude, which I have transferred into another bag. My very brand new Vespa. Woohoo! I found myself with some PayPal funds, and I had been eyeing this amazing bag since Virginia Beach, the retreat I went to. And I decided it was time that it should be mine. And this is like limited edition fabric, I think. She got this in some travels to Southern Europe, Italy and Spain. I love it. I love it. And let me show you her card. It's super well made. It's got this kind of it's got some sort of cotton on the inside. And she will probably email me and say, it's this organic, yada, 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 super special. She has great fabrics. Jan B. Smiley, maker of things. She's an artist as well. She's also the organizer of the Carolina Fiber Frolic Retreats. Etsy.com. She's Jan B. Smiley. And sorry about, I will link her in the show notes. So this is the Roman Holiday Project bag. I love it. And it's the medium to large. It's a lovely size. And folks, I have had another needle mishap. It's the week of needle weirdness. Okay, Hitofude. Yay! This is Copper Corgi, Jones Street Sport. It's alpaca silk superwash merino, and it's in the fig colorway. And the color never looks the same. Every time I show it, it's different. But it's beautiful and subtle, and look, I have sleeves now. Finally, the purgatory of the sleeves is over, and I'm really enjoying this knit now. So, after you do a 3-needle bind off, it's kind of cool because Hitofude by Hiroko Fukatsu. I think I said that right. Hitofude means single brush stroke, like in calligraphy. And it's a single stroke of yarn. You do not cut the yarn. It's a really neat construction. It's fun. Somehow I found myself with about 20 extra stitches. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It didn't, my stitch count did not correspond to any of the sizes. So who knows? So I had to do some figuring out because you need to pick up sort of stitches for the sides and have it be more or less symmetrical. And I think I'm good to go. I had to do a lot of figuring out. But the one thing that may not happen is that, see, there's the ribbing. And then you can tell that the lace up here, this is the wrong side, that's going to be for the back, the lower back, because this is the upper back here, is not going to line up exactly everywhere with the lace repeats up here. It's going to be behind me. Do you think I'm going to care? No, this would really bother some people, and if I were ensured that by ripping out and reconfiguring it that I could get exactly what exact lineup, then I would, but I really felt like I could not be assured of that because I did my best to figure out how to make things work, and I don't think there's another best in there, so it is what it is. So this is the neck. I tried it on. I put it on 2 long needles and tried it on. It's going to be awesome. The sleeves are roughly below the elbow. So it looks small, but it has not been blocked at all. It's got alpaca. It's going to stretch. And even unblocked, it fits. So I did actually make the sleeves a little bit smaller. I went with like the medium sleeve or even the small because this is a sport weight yarn and the pattern calls for fingering. So I did not do as many repeats of the sleeve as I would have for, say, if I'd been using a fingering weight. So my row gauge is much different from what the pattern recommends. So I just went by fit. The stitch gauge is correct, but the row gauge is not. So you just got to be aware of that. So anyway, it's living in my Roman holiday bag. Oh yes, the needle mishap. I'm knitting this on US 5s, which is a 3.75 millimeter, on my ChiaoGoo interchangeables. I've been knitting on ChiaoGoos pretty much from the moment they were available in my area. And I've knit on all sorts of them, and I love them. I really love them. So I was knitting along, and things started, and I was at soccer practice, no less. I started getting a snag, and the joins are fabulous on ChiaoGoos. They are fabulous joins, and I was like, what's going on? And I just, kept knitting. All of a sudden, stitches are off needles, and needle tip is in my hand, and it's not connected to the cord. And of course I'm knitting lace, because that's the law of the thing. Here is one end where it's in the cord is in the metal thing that's connected to the tip. And look, oh my, it's not. Yeah. It was not a big mishap. I was able to salvage what had fallen apart as far as the stitches go. Now I have been assured that ChiaoGoo has good customer service, and I did make a replacement request, sternly worded replacement request, you know, as you do, and hopefully I will get a replacement soon. So I started knitting on, I didn't have another size 5. I did, actually, that's not true. I did have an adequate cord length in an Addi Turbo in a size 5. They're too blunt. They're too stumpy. I don't like it. So I got an Addi Lace instead in size 6, which I already owned. And I was like, I could knit the rest of this in a size 6, which is a 4mm. I did a little bit, but I was at a yarn shop yesterday, so I just went ahead and bought myself a fixed circular. Because honestly, I think I really do prefer them to interchangeables. And you know why? Because I'm lazy. I'm just going to put that out there. You know? You already have to wind up the yarn to start a project. And then there's all the swatching and whatnot. Yeah, swatching. And then you have to screw a needle tip into a cord? Please. I'd rather just yank out an interchangeable. I mean, fixed circular. Because I know myself. Okay. My gosh, I'm talking. I thought this was going to be a short show today. Let's see. Oh, let me show you these things. These are my Jan Smiley bag. She organizes a Carolina Fiber Frolic. I want to go. I want to go badly. I hope I can go. And then look at this. She's an artiste. Artist and author, fiber and mixed media. And these are her show dates. What? Join me in Italy? Hang on. I didn't even see that. Oh, that was from a while ago. This is, oh, okay. This is an old postcard that she just sent with a thank you on it. But very cool. Very cool. I was like, yes, I'll join you in Italy. I can be ready in a half hour, ready and packed. Got my passport and everything. Okay, so what else do we have? Works in progress. As always, I have my blanket. Excuse me. Allergies have been bad since spiking to school. I have some new squares. This one. These were all from Maryland Sheep and Wool Scraps that I was given. It was so much fun. This one and the lollipop one. Then we have, ooh, I did this one last night. That's a fun one. I feel like that's a Claudia hand paint. I feel like I've seen that colorway before. Ooh, this one's pretty. I think this was from Julesy. I can never think of her as Julia. She's always just Julesy. This is Kirby Werby. This is something about zombie attack. And this one was from Stitches Please, and she has the, I think, Color Me Happy Etsy store. And I made a big one out of that. And that's it. That's it for the week. I have to confess something. I'm feeling a little less blankety these days. I think it's the natural ebb and flow of the blanketness. Excuse me, I'm gonna just... Oh, goodness. And I think that's all right. I'm kind of feeling like I'm forcing myself to do a square a day. Yeah. And I feel like maybe I should just honor that and not do a square a day for a while. I don't know. I have mixed feelings. Maybe I shouldn't think too hard about it. Just do what I feel. Okie dokie. With that, let's see what else we have today. So we're into spinning and weaving. Show you the spinning first. All right, since this is on top, I drum carded a little bit of my Rhinebeck fleece. Not very much. This is, what was this? Rambouillet Corriedale Cross. It's kind of a fine wool. It's a short staple, so I am drum carding it. Boop, 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 boop. It's thinner in some places than others. Quite thick up here. Ooh, it smells like a lanolin. And then we have this one. This one's a little better blended. Bat. Let me just lay these together and roll them up. So these are ready to spin, and I felt like kind of schizophrenic with all the fiber in my house last weekend, like Mother's Day. I just wanted to touch it all and do something with all of it. So some of it got carded, and there's a bit of leaf in it right now. Most of the veg matter has come out. There really wasn't much veg matter at all in this fleece. Well, that's not true. There were some big burrs, actually. And that white bit is from fleece that was already on my carder. And I had a hard time cleaning out. But that's all right. It's spongy. It's lovely. I think this is going to be a super springy finished yarn. So there's that. Then I spun about 3 ounces, about 1.5 ounces on each bobbin of my, I always smile when I think of this fleece, Coopworth and Cotswold mix. It's a cross, not a mix. And that fleece is completely combed. I think, I said that I wanted to make something like a big lace weight project out of this. Then I thought, when was the last time I knit a big lace weight project, like a shawl? I don't want to knit a circular lace weight shawl. I hate knitting circular things. I knit a shipwreck shawl, and man, I had to stop because I couldn't stand another round and round you go, getting bigger all the time, never finishing a round. I think this needs to be a garment, truly, because if I knit a lace weight thing, it'll get shoved in a drawer and never worn, like my shipwreck. So, yeah, so that's done. Let me put you guys over here. Sorry. Okay. What else? I have, yes, I washed a little bit of my Lincoln fleece. Oh my gosh, it's over here on the dryer. This came with my dryer, by the way. There's my Lincoln. And I just put it out to dry. You can tell I did not take great pains to keep the locks together. They're mostly together, but they will need to be separated out when I comb them. But it's not too hard. You can really tell which end is the cut end and which end is not. This is a beautiful fleece. Very few second cuts. Very few. Very little waste in this fleece. Look at that. Look at that. There's a dark charcoal. There's silver and gunmetal. And there's a bit of brindley brown in there in places. Oh, and then there's really dark. Really in love with this fleece the more I play with it. Let me put this down. I did comb a few locks, just a very few that are washed. And believe it or not, there's quite a bit more fleece to wash. I never thought Lincoln would be close to skin soft for me, but it is. I don't know, I thought it would be kind of like a Wensleydale feel. Not at all. So, combed some out. It's lustrous. Um, it's lovely. So that is ongoing. I really would like to process the fleeces in the order that they came to me. So I've been working on yogurt. Yogurt combs ridiculously easy. After the tiny little locks of the Cotswold Cooperth, yogurt has much more substantial locks. Also, the other fleece was a lamb's fleece, so the locks were small. But yogurt has big locks. There's one. And they just comb beautifully. And I have them in my 1 hour basket, all of my little nests that I've done. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's a little nest of yogurt. It's just a bright, blinding white, too. So there's some combing, there's some carding. It's all good fun. And I'll put it all out of the way so I can show you the weaving. Because I know you all want to see the weaving. So last time we talked about the weaving, I had warped, well, I was weaving on my new tri-loom. And I had started out with a wool on there, but it was too grippy for me to figure out how to do the continuous thread method. So I said, oh, I'll just slap up some of this mercerized cotton that I've had in the stash for forever, and I'm not going to knit with it. And I knew it was not the best choice, but I classified it as learning. And man, I learned what not to do. And it's kind of appropriate that there's going to be a new Mad Max movie, like a remake, because if they wore rainbows in Mad Max, they would wear this. God, I don't even know where the hypotenuse is anymore. Now it's an art piece, right? I don't know, I think this could be kind of attractive. So yeah, it's kind of ragamuffin piece of fabric, and clearly this weaving is not meant for mercerized cotton. It has no grab, and of course I didn't weave in any ends. I don't know what will become of this. So I have decided to try another method. This did not stop me. No, no, no. I did learn a ton from my mistakes on this one. Or, yeah, I guess you could call them mistakes. But I think I learned a lot. And I decided to try a different method called the cut thread. Let me show you. I have, oops, there goes a bobbin. There goes another bobbin. There we go. Oh, see up there? Those are baby pictures of my husband and myself. Anyway, so I have started the warping, and you can tell it just, you kind of do it on the bias, and then you weave. Oh, hang on, look, there's me, and there's my husband. So you do it on the bias, and man, I can't even show you with my finger. And I'm using purple handspun, a variety of different handspuns. So let me show you what they are. I have this one. This one, I think I dyed this myself as well. And then this one is an old merino. So very fun, and I hope it works out. I'm not really thrilled with how I'm tying the knots. I don't know if the tension will be good for when I start the weaving part. Yeah, we'll see. It's hard to find good resources for this kind of loom online. I think I need a book. So I do have the instructions for the loom now, and they have helped. So that's what's been going on in the weaving and spinning world here. So I have acquisitions and then Ask Fibertown, and I wanted to do a bunch of Ask Fibertowns today because I thought I wouldn't be talking very much, but what do I know? All right, acquisitions. So I have new minis for my blanket, and they're insane. We did a swap. Knit Vision, who is Amanda, and I did a swap. I think I got the better deal. Though I did send her quite a few things. She's doing a barn raising quilt. I don't even want to talk about the barn raising quilt right now. She sent me amazing Noma Acres mini skeins. She said that these ended up being too small for her barn raising quilt. Got the Avengers. I'm not really into it, but they're super cool. I mean, I'm not really into the Avengers. I'm very much into the yarn. Then we have a grab bag, and this has different bases, including a tweed and a sparkle. Aren't they pretty? So this is 5 mini skeins. Oh my gosh. And then this one, another grab bag. Woo! Super fun. So now that I've shown you, I can open these up and knit with them. They've been mocking me. In other mini skein news, when I was at Looped Yarn Works yesterday, which is a store in DuPont Circle in DC, and I go there and hang out occasionally when I'm waiting to pick up my daughter. She gets out of school early on Wednesdays. They had the full range of unicorn tails. This is ink. It's not so royal blue. It's much more of a midnight blue. And yeah, every time I go, I think I'm going to pick up one or two. And they also had this yarn that I'd been wanting to try for quite a while. It's made by Skacel. And I think Cerelia Rose came up or helped design this yarn. It's from New Zealand, and it has 50% merino, 25% nylon. What's that, 10%? 10% angora, 10% alpaca, 5% silk noils, and it feels like it'd be a great sweater yarn. It's a light worsted, I'd say, maybe a DK. It recommends, 6 to 8 needle, 160 yards for 50 grams. So it's pricey for what it is, but I'm gonna make a hat. I think this would make an awesome cabled hat, maybe. In a great color for hats. So let's see. That's it for acquisitions. And now we're on to Ask Fibertown. Grab my iPad. There's behind me, underneath me somewhere. Okay. So there is one Ask Fibertown question that I have been avoiding for a while because it's a request for a demo. And I've thought a lot about how I would do this. And I just feel I've decided that demos are not my thing. Like, with a camera overhead and a video of the object or the technique in question. It's just not something I feel compelled to do. It's from Memers, and that's one reason I've thought about this for so long. I love Memers, the Hudson Valley Knits podcast. Memers, I'm so sorry to hear about what's happened to your river. There's been some terrible things. Spill of oil into the Hudson River. Anyway, supported spindle demo. She was asking about me doing one, and she's been wanting to give it a try, and she doesn't know how to get started. She asks also, do you have a favorite type of supported spindle? Where did I put them? Oh yes, they are all in my new bag. Megan. I will show you what I have, and I can show you how I spin a little bit and give you a few tips. But I just can't do that whole camera setup. Sorry. I have 4 supported spindles, and I really love supported spindling. I've talked about this in other episodes. I'm going to lower this a bit. So this is a Spanish peacock bowl. You don't have to have a fancy bowl. You can just get a Pyrex dish or a glass bowl of some sort, shallow. And my other bowl is from this. It's a mushroom. The glaze on this one has picked up a lot of fuzz. It's a little sticky, this glaze. So it doesn't get used a lot because that kind of annoys me. I have, oh my gosh, they all have fiber on them. My very first one, where the first one I was able to successfully spin on is a I want to say Turkish, Tibetan spindle. And it's temporary cup has fallen off here. You can spin any type of fiber on a supported spindle. It's very much a woolen style of spinning, which is one reason I love it. So woolen prep, like punis or rolags, are great, although you can use anything. So this is a Tibetan spindle. It's heavier. It's a Spanish peacock. It's heavier than all my other ones, but it's a great spindle. And I was first able to get twist into fiber on this one. And it took me a while. I've talked about that before, but it took me a while to get successful. Okay, this one is my African bead whirl. I love this one. This one's so fast. This is also a Spanish peacock. Of course, there's fiber attached to it. And this might be my favorite one. I also just sometimes put it on my thigh and spin it. So I'll show you how I spin on this one a little bit later after I show you the others. There's also my Russian, which I have come to really love. I first tried to learn on a Russian spindle, which is, it's like a big pen. And I do love this one too. It's full of fiber. It's not spinning very fast. I need to take this off. Also a Spanish peacock. You can tell I'm partial. They make great spindles. And you can tell, I have the regular cop on the bottom, and then up here is a temporary cop. So that as you're spinning and winding back on your spun fiber, you don't have to come in all the way down here and wind down here, which slows you down. You can just wind down right here. Then when you get a nice big temporary cop, you butterfly it off like this. So it's all on your hand, and the top cop is gone, and then you wind it onto the bottom. So my last one is a Takli. I'm trying to remember who manufactured this. It is a sharp little spindle. It's a bottom, most of these, supported spindles are bottom whorl spindles. Take a look. It's carbon fiber shaft. And it's a glass whorl. And they are both, I would not use a wooden spindle bowl because it would dent it. So I have these little corks that go back on it. This spins so stinking fast, like the wind. In fact, I won't spin because of that. They name these for different types of winds in the world. I think this is a Mistral, which is that's spinning. Yeah. Super fine fibers. I think it's an Indian spindle. The Indian subcontinent. This is a baby camel and Muga silk blend that I carded myself, and I need to see, there's a temporary cop. I need to take this off and ply it and put it in my blanket. Yes, indeed. So for spinning short stapled fibers, like the baby camel, which is just down, it's just a cloud, this is perfect. So the Russian spindle is what's used for spinning Orenburg lace yarn for the shawls, a Russian spindle. And let me see if I can show you how I spin on the bead whirl. So I put this bowl I go cross-legged. Now I said I wasn't going to do a demo, and here I am doing a demo. So I go cross-legged, and I have some hobbledehoy battlinks here. And oh my goodness, the yarn matches the bowl. So I haven't spun in a while, so I'm a little rusty. So I spin it, I draft out, of course, back this up like this. once I get twist into the fiber, like that, see? The thing that was hard for me to figure out, and this is black and I'm wearing black, is that you really have to get the yarn wrapped, or the fiber, the single, wrapped around the tip of the spindle. You flick it and you just sort of let your hand cup the spindle, and I just got and you draw it out like that. Spinning, draft and spin at the same time, and then you wind on like this, the temporary cop. You get down and you make sure you're spinning right off the tip. Spin, you draft, get a slub, you spin it some more, depending on, and then you wind it on. There's my single. Spin some more, draft out as the spindle is going, and see, if I had planned this correctly, I wouldn't have worn black. So you could see what was happening, but yep, you want to spin right off the tip. Wind the single around and flick it. I would practice flicking your spindle and managing that first before I put fiber on it. And the way I start fiber is very similar. I just take some fiber like this, put it right on the tip, and spin it and flick it. And then once I get some twist in there, I push it all the way down to the bottom of the spindle, and that's my leader. When I first learned how to support spindle, they had me use like dental floss that we tied into a knot and attached to the spindle that way. And then we made a loop with the dental floss and put our fiber inside the loop. So it's very nice supported spindling because you can just, your arms aren't doing this, and it's very comfy and nice. So those are my favorite spindles, and that's how I spin. Okay, now let's see. I think I'm just gonna call it, and I was gonna do some more questions today, but we're at 47 minutes. That is craziness. And yeah, and they're good, hefty questions to get into at another time. So, my friends, I hope you enjoyed seeing my shenanigans today. Was your favorite thing the rainbow weaving? I'm glad I can share my failures as well as my successes with you all. Okay, so have a fantastic week and take care. Bye-bye.